Why alternative education? If you've been wondering this question, or if you've been wondering what is alternative education, well, stick around, because in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. If we're only meeting for the first time, hi, my name is Rebecca Raitt from Empowered Avenue, empowering eclectic education, one avenue at a time. I'm a mother, educator, and I run classes on a variety of different topics for different people. I have homeschool classes, after school classes, and dance classes. And I also teach swimming and do a bunch of other things. I have lots of different hats, whilst also being a mother to my 2 children. It's pretty hectic. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back to the topic. So alternative education, what is that? My understanding of alternative education, it is an alternative method to the mainstream system. So the mainstream system of education is, like I would say, traditional schooling came about in the Industrial Revolution, where it was really important to create little factory workers. So the best way to do that was to round up all the kids, put them into the same building or the same classrooms, have someone instructing them, and then they become your little factory workers based on like what you need of them. So nowadays, over 100 years later, we're still using this model. We have children come to school, they sit in a class of like up to 35, and they have one teacher, maybe an assistant, especially if it's in the early years, and then they have to sit and listen and do the class as do whatever lesson that the teacher's teaching, and at whatever level that the teacher's teaching. There's not much variation in levels, so children who are above or below the average generally get left out. And then once that lesson's over, it's on to the next thing. So if you got it, you got it. If you finished it, you finished it. If you didn't, then too bad. You have to move on. Or it becomes homework. Or you have to do it at recess. So that's a whole other kettle of fish. That's a whole other different argument. But today we're going to be talking about, what if school didn't have to be like that? What if children didn't have to come to school, sit at a desk, do the same lesson as everyone else at the same time, and at the same pace as everyone else? What if we didn't have to do that? Now, a lot of people might be saying, well, you can't do that. Well, actually you can, and I'm going to tell you a couple of different ways now. My favorite way is the Montessori approach. I'm not really going to get into the finer details of different alternative educational styles. I'm just going to list off a few methods and ways, and then in another video, if you're interested, let me know in the comments below. I will do another video on each of the different alternative learning styles or alternative learning methods. So most of the research now is saying that a holistic approach to learning is better than the teacher talking and the students having to listen and write down. It's only targeting certain children who learn that way. So we have known for years that children and adults, they learn in different ways. My favorite way of explaining that is Gardner's multiple intelligences. I think anyone who's ever done Intro to Psych has done that approach. So the way I learnt it, there was 8. Don't quote me, they could have added more since then. It's been a while since I've been to uni. So anyways, there's multiple ways of learning, and a good teacher will try and tick as many boxes as they can in different lessons, perhaps, to help get everyone. I think some alternative education styles go one step further. So Montessori, for example, the children come in, they settle in the room. There are no desks in rows. There are a few tables around. There's some nice rugs. There's shelves all around the room with materials and work that children can reach. It's at their level. So there's no big bookcases for tiny little children. And that work, the child can come and take what they'd like, do that work, complete that work, and then put it back. And that work can be tailored to them. So in the example of the little kids learning to read, there's different sets of letters, and they can work on whichever ones they're up to. instead of the whole class. So I've taught kindy before, and the whole class got the letter A, and they learned all about the letter A, and the uppercase and the lowercase, and the A is for apple, and they got to do the colouring in and all that sort of stuff. There's none of that in Montessori. There's no worksheets. They learn the sound A, so A, and they will then once they understand the different sounds, then they will associate that sound to a letter, and that letter is called A. And that A is then represented on a card with a sandpaper letter on top, so they can physically move their fingers over that letter. And then once they move on from there to start spelling words, they get to use the movable alphabet, which is a wooden alphabet cutout of different letters in different fonts depending on what the school is doing. There's cursive, there's print, there's in between. And then they get to move that letter A around to form words. So this is like 100% tailored to each child. Whatever each child is up to, that's what they get. Instead of teaching the whole class the letter A and having like half of them not get it, and then you still have to move on to B next week, but you have to teach them all the same. So this is why I really like alternative education. There's so many different methods. Like you've got the big names like Montessori and Steiner, but you also have other ones like Charlotte Mason is starting to get really popular these days. You have Reggio Emilia and any other like maybe not so widely recognized, but your nature-based learning, your play-based learning. All these styles are recognizing the need for hands-on play-based learning. Instead of going straight to the abstract, which children just don't get. And we've known this for years. So a lot of schools are embracing this even in mainstream classes. You can do it. You can embrace some of these approaches and some of these methods into your lessons. And I'm really excited to bring some videos to you about this and how you can do that as an educator. But I'm also going to be doing some more videos for parents to explain the different education methods so that you can make an informed choice when you're choosing a school or when choosing to not school. Because a lot of these approaches also work for homeschooling, which is why I love them so much. So I homeschooled my eldest for her would-be kindergarten year, which is a part of the Children's House under the Montessori approach, and I homeschooled with a Montessori inspired approach. So you can't 100% do like Montessori at home completely because you just can't recreate a classroom in your house. And even if you did get every single material and recreated a classroom in your house, it's still not the same because you don't have the social atmosphere. Because yeah, that's just how it is. If you're interested in learning more about alternative education, I could talk about it all day. But for now, I just wanted to touch on that it is an option. A lot of people don't realize that it is an option. You can look into it, you can do it. And even if you don't have that option near you, or if it's too out of reach financially or distance-wise, that you can still incorporate some of these things into your home. So if you're interested in learning more about alternative education, please let me know in the comments below and I'll make another video with the different approaches in more detail. If you'd also like to read a little bit more on this topic, I've written a blog article about it. It's on my website, www.empoweredavenue.com. Goes into a little bit more detail about what I'm talking about here, about options, and about why it's important to have alternative education. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to keep up to date with new videos as they get released. And make sure you hit the little bell so that you get the notifications of those as well. Well, that's all from me today. My name is Rebecca Raitt from Empowered Avenue, empowering eclectic education one avenue at a time. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.